AITAH 16F, for accepting gifts from my bio father. For reference, I'm Italian, so we don't have CPS but social workers that follow you. Ever since I was little, I've had social workers following my case. Basically, my father tells everyone that my mother forces me not to speak to him, so there was a court case with my mother, thankfully won. However, he recently opened a new one against her, so everything is starting once again. I despise my father especially since he has been using me to overstay his visa. In fact, I have severe daddy issues, so I have to make it clear I don't want to see him right. Well, he came all the way down from North Italy to the south to leave these gifts to my social worker. Why not give them to me directly? AITAH. Anyway, me and my parents were talking. My stepdad told me how I should act if I wanted to come across a certain way. I was like, got it. However, I did bring up the following option. What if I just threw them in the trash in front of her to make her understand I want nothing to do with it? They said absolutely not, which I'm like, fine, okay, I'll do that. A few days ago, we went to pick them up and the social worker said, sorry, you can't leave them here, so I took them and walked out. When we're in the car, my mother started screaming at me that I should have threw them in the trash. The very thing I proposed, but they said not to do. We argued and I cried. We go home and I go wash my face, because I have to go to the gym anyway. My stepdad sees me crying and asks me what happened. I told him, and he also starts screaming, calling me the R word. I go to the kitchen where my mom is waiting for me to take me to the gym, and he keeps calling me names, telling me to quote his words. You are an arrogant little bee that is so full of herself that she can't even listen. I didn't know I raised you to be so stupid. I kept crying, and he kept screaming, so I went outside in the garden to calm down. I can't calm down if I'm surrounded by people because I have panic attacks. When I don't hear the screaming anymore, I go back inside and go to my room. My mom enters my room even though I repeatedly told her I did not want to see or talk to her in the moment. I know it's dramatic, but it feels justified. So she tells me to move, get up. Then when she sees I'm not moving, she says, sorry. I know I was a bit harsh, but you F'd up. I just got up anyway, and we went to the gym. Then we had to go out to dinner because their friends brought their daughter with them, so I had to babysit. They both acted like they had no idea why I was silent and sad. When we got back home, and my stepdad was parking, I told her that I expected an apology because this isn't the first time that they treated me like this, and because whenever she finds me crying, she says that I should tell her. But when I do, she tells me I fossilize myself over bullshit, and it isn't the first time they called me the R word either. When I was 6, my father tried to make me a passport without my mom knowing. Obviously, I didn't know what that was. My stepdad screamed at me until I was so dehydrated from crying I almost fainted. But guess what she says? I apologize to you because I felt like it. He doesn't owe you anything. So yeah, am I the a-hole for doing what they told me and wanting an apology? Because it's been 3 days and I haven't got one.